graphic systems for probably 10 years. Been doing this for a couple of years, this iteration of it. Let's see here. That turned it off, right?
Yeah, don't do that.
There we go.
There you go, to this side. There you go, that one.
Okay, there we go. So
Okay.
just to kind of go through this quickly, we provide tools for businesses and institutions to engage, educate, and entertain their audiences. This is our mission: empower our customers to engage, educate, and entertain the world through smartphone photography. This system is everything involved in this whole system you see right here. Requirements are just having a green screen, smartphone, and an email address. That's all you need to run this thing. And people stand in front of it, but you guys can do it a while here. Take a picture with a phone and email it. And there's various backgrounds, and those backgrounds are, wait 2 or 3 minutes, comes back, and you're placed in a background. And also an email comes with it. So the thing about this technology is so simple. You don't need anything on site to speak of other than this, mostly a wall. You are getting an email address for your people doing this, but also you have that email body that has the story behind the picture. And so in this case, the History Museum, which I work with closely on a lot of stuff, it has the picture, it has the story behind the picture, has links to the museum's calendar, their exhibits, their even the restaurant. But it's just an HTML page that you now have in front of somebody who's been in front of your green screen. So it's to say simple stuff. There's no consumables. It's all going on in the cloud. There's no apps on your phone. You don't need anybody on site, although at events usually have somebody there. It's low cost, flexible and portable, highly scalable. This thing can go anywhere in the world. Most of my business is outside St. Louis, actually. And the pricing model is it's always free to people shooting pictures. And to set up a background, and so this thing is not really about the technology, it's about the content. Because we and museums are great for us because they have such incredible content. So here you get to be in a historic picture that belongs to the museum, and so you're engaging with this whole idea, this history or science or what have you. But also you get this email back that has the stories that we're showing you, so it's educational. So that's where the education, the engagement, and there's entertainment value to this thing. So anyhow, we charge to set up the background. So you, the customer, provide the background. I set it up, the email and so on, for $200. And then it's a one-time fee, and then it's like $100 a month, $300 a quarter to keep it running on the server. And it's running pretty much 24/7. If you want to change the background, there's a fee there. And if you're doing a one-time, one-off event with an image, it's $250 to do that. But the point is, it's very inexpensive. And the time for me to set up a background doesn't take that long, and it just runs. And the way the system is written, which I wrote, they can have as many backgrounds as we want, and there's no additional overhead on the server. So I'm not worried about maxing out other than traffic. So anyhow, some of the markets are trade shows, or actually marketing, fund a few trade shows, join a few trade organizations, email campaigns. Let's see here, venues and agents. So the model I'm kind of hoping to get is to get kind of wholesalers. And what else have we got here? So customers. So here's some of the customers we've got. USA Today is using this in 4 of the locations and negotiating for another 10. They use it to go out to community events. And so they're using it for promotions. So they're at, have a booth at a show. People take their pictures, they engage with them. They get their email address. They have an offer inside email. It's simple. They were using a system that was costing them about $12,000 a year, where they had to bring out all this equipment, computers, cameras, backdrops, and so on. and several of them have switched over, and a lot more are looking at switching over to this thing because it's so simple. The Cardinals, we do, you know, these games, they've had us for their theme nights. So there was a Beatles night, for example, and you were on the Abbey Road album cover on the sidewalk without the Beatles. And you know, so it's running for a couple hours, a couple hundred people, pictures coming through. I'll come back to Chris's here. Museums and institutions around the country, and the state of Iowa actually uses this, and that's brought in the USA Today account, some other accounts, but they use it to promote their tourism app. So they have this thing with historic pictures. People come in and they get in a picture information, and it has the links to download the app that has their 20,000 tourism sites in the state. It's out at the airport. You go to Lambert Field and baggage claim, Southwest Airlines. Far into Carousel 2 is way in the corner. You can see a section of green wall, and there's some historic pictures you're in, but the cool one is the arch. You send that in, it comes back, and you are under the arch, and the mayor slays give you the key to the city. So that's a fun one. And then another variation that I've done since I spoke last time is this Ruth Chris's and Morton Steakhouse. So right now, Morton Steakhouse has anyone you go to the country, they'll take a picture of you and print it. And you can just print a picture. They got a little point and shoot, and a printer in the back, put it in the frame. Well, the version I've got running out there, which we're working on getting it running in some of the larger restaurants in California right now, they can still do a point and shoot, and or do it on the manager's phone, send the picture in, and there's a redirect. But basically what happens is they take a picture of the phone, send it in with the email address of the customers, their birthday, let's say, put happy birthday, subject line. And when they walk back in a couple of minutes in the back room, there's a print sitting there that says happy birthday, picture, it's kind of formatted to look nicely, it's got their logo on it and so on. They put the frame and give it to them, and now we have their email address, we know that it was their birthday, and we have a picture of it. So the plan is, as we build these things up, is that when it comes around to your birthday next year, we're going to send that picture back out to you and say, hey, you were here last year, here's your picture, come on back. You know, some kind of offer or whatever. So that doesn't do with it, that's a non-green screen thing. But Ruth Chris is running it in a couple locations, one up out here in Clayton, and the Mortons in downtown Clayton is running it. And then it's also at the History Museum, it's in the History Clubhouse, it's with the blues thing, St. Louis Blues, going out to the library. If you go in there, they've got a green screen set up, and you get a picture with some blues on the ice and so on. And it's, you know, various events and things around town. But, so, let's see, what else can I tell you? I just stuck in here, find people. So where I am right now is I have several other businesses. And this thing's kind of going along. I've got inroads into various places. And it just is, I would love to find a partner to go and persistently market this thing. Because I've got pretty much all the stuff there, have plenty of success stories, and have several inroads, but it just is, it's me, and I've got other requirements and whatever. So, what else can I tell you?
That's a good start.
We'll see if they have questions.
Okay. And when we're done here, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us.
And also when you're done, or whatever time you're going to allow, you come up here, and I've got some signage, and there's like a dozen pictures on here. They're just for fun. One's even a T-Rex picture. So it tells you to take a picture in front of your phone, and email it in to the address that's for the picture you want, and wait a few minutes and it comes back, and that you'll see how it works.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you. Questions?
Yes.
Yeah, you talked a lot about historical background.
Yes.
You talk a lot about historical backgrounds and things, bridges, the arch, stuff like that, pop museums. Say that I'm, a huge nerd and I want to see myself on Tatooine or in Westeros. Would you care to expand something else like that? I also know, of personal experience, that photo booths are really expensive, very popular at weddings. Say that you want to do something cool, but cheaper, could you do something like that with the, pivot scale system other than historical?
Actually, I have, so any background you've got, you can put you in. There's a lot of these things, there's license issues, so you want to be with a famous person. But aside from that, from the technical side, you can do anything. And I've got a version which I kind of use for parties that for a couple $100, that includes the green screen. You can set up a green screen. We don't come out for that price, and we send you the file that you print out, the instruction file you print out to hang, and you got it for the weekend, and it's way cheaper and simpler. And also, it can blind copy, so that you, the host, can be receiving real time every picture that's going through the system to do that. So, yeah.
So you said you were looking for a partner. Define more what you're looking for as far as a partner and what you expect them, how that will work.
Well, what I am envisioning is that this product is very easy to wholesale, because this service is all, I know we'll run it. It needs somebody to do the marketing. And the marketing, but the technical side, that's obviously what I do. And because it's what is that trying to get, the terms of entanglement can be very easily broken off, differentiated. Because whoever is selling this thing, they can actually, and I've actually done this a little bit, I'd like to do more, where you go out and sell it, and I'm basically wholesaling it, so that, to keep it simple. But that's really is the marketing expertise that I need, and I don't envision having to have a partnership. Partnership agreement itself would be terribly complex, just because I'm saying talking about the structure of the product. It's almost be wholesale, closer to wholesale, partnership wholesale kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sure.
Other than what you just spoke about, could use assistance with the marketing. What are some other hurdles you've run into?
It's so new and off the wall, which is what we call off the wall green screen. It takes them a while to sink in how simple this thing is. And the other side of it is, one market, of course, is to go sell green screens, which they're so cheap. On Amazon, for $20, you can get a 10 by 12 hang on the wall. So actually, I have people just, getting the link to Amazon to get it. But it's different. And the key is also, especially dealing with clients who are giving me a custom background, is for them to pick an interesting background area that people want to be in. So people want to be almost eaten by a shark, which we've got on here. But to take a step and repeat background, they don't care. But they're thinking this is like regular photography, but kind of simplified. So it's just getting people to understand it, and because there's nothing else out there like it. I mean, I've been to trade shows, people go to trade shows, I've seen nobody else doing this. And the key to this thing was that, and I've written other green screen systems that do prints and so on, which we still do, that kind of work. Anyhow, I haven't seen this anywhere, but when I came to the thought of, if I don't need to produce a professional grade image, what can I do? Because this thing, you get some great shots. We've got one this morning that's quite good. We'll get some, you'll be wearing green, you'll be invisible. So the quality varies all over the place, but because it's free, if it comes back all screwed up, people aren't pissed off if they get some money. But it just is, it's kind of foreign to people to get it, I guess. Well, and that's package.
Yeah, I've got the mic. Can you do videos? I was thinking people would love to be in stuff like such lighthearted affairs as the Hindenburg disaster and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and there's actually a guy who does videos for museums, and I can find his list, because they could use his green background for this. But the ones I've seen, they actually charge a per user, and they charge for the background you're using. They charge a few bucks. And you got to put an app on your phone, and it just gets complicated. And they say the elegance of this thing is just the sheer simplicity. if you're walking down the street and you see like this green wall in here, you can take a picture and send it in and see if it works. It's that simple, you know. I've done that. In fact, I think it's, yeah, the green back in there works pretty good, not a big enough spot. But, and there's a green in there which is so-so. But when you get the video, you gotta take it to another level, and then you get equipment there, and people there, and it just goes down the tubes. Yes?
So I've been selling real estate services for like maybe 15 years or so, and every real estate agent I know at closing takes a picture with their client, right, and then they post it on Facebook, Instagram, and they use that as a bit of a marketing piece.
Well, and I was talking to somebody about the other
That's
day,
it. Yeah.
and what one could do is to, I've got to obviously use some digital software, but you send in a background picture along with a picture of the person, and you put them in front of the house and send it to them. You know, but potentially future house as opposed to the
Or, yeah, the one they just closed on, which does sound expensive because then you'd have to redo the image every time. But if they had a stock image that like Cole Banner used or Keller Williams used, and they just have all their agents using the program and just one licensing agreement with
right.
KW or CBG or whatever, and their broker's buying it, and they're just offering this. I mean, 'cause the amount of business these realtors generate from those Facebook, I watch them, and you'll see, hey, you know, Carolyn just bought a house and they tag their, you know, their agent in it, and then you'll immediately see someone else, hey, I want to buy a house. Like that is a big marketing piece for them, and right now they're taking pictures in title company closing rooms and they look terrible.
And here's what I think a model of that, since you're in this business, I'll pass this by you, is that, so you have the client sometimes is in your buyer, is in your office, and you have a green wall or something, take a picture, so it's kind of a base picture. So you would email that picture in, and you send a second picture of the house he's interested in. And so it would come back with him in front of, or maybe he's in the kitchen of that house or something.
So most realtors are not marketing a potential sale, they're marketing their closing, right?
Okay.
And it's, the transaction is done, everybody's happy. That's, and whether it's Keller Williams logo in the background, or they just pick a great picture of an amazing house, whatever. I mean, to do every house individually, the MLS pictures are not that good anymore.
Oh, that's true. That's a problem.
And then it just be this universal thing that every agent could use, and they would just rebrand every single time.
Yeah.
And all of the realtor firms, I have a friend that she sells Cutco knives to realtors, and as a closing gift. I mean, she sells bajillions of these things. Realtors make a lot of money per transaction. They're always looking for just for $200 if they can differentiate themselves. Like, that's a market. I think we could go around and sell this to every real estate firm by the end of the month and St. Louis.
Yes, and I say the problem is not having the
You
time.
need a salesperson.
You need a salesperson to do it.
Other questions? Or are we just gonna play off screen now? We good? Okay, well, thank you so much. Okay, before we go play with the screen, does anybody have any announcements they want to share?